Hi, welcome to this section of cardiology. This is Dr. Jaitly. I'll be talking to you in this section about, as a follow-up to the previous one, how does yoga benefit the heart, lungs, and the rest of the body? Interesting? Well, yoga, as I said, has been practiced for millenniums and it's transcended over generations and generations. And now it's existing pretty much in every single gym and country club. So there are instructors, there are teachers, there are private tutors, as well as in classrooms where people are learning more about yoga, the benefits into the heart, the benefits for the lungs, and the benefits to the rest of the human body. Now we know the human body has an endocrine system, or a system where hormones are poured into the bloodstream. Now, when the hormones are poured into the bloodstream, that's called endocrine system. Okay, so those hormones, remember, there are hormones that are coming into the stomach. There are hormones that are coming, secreting in the intestinal areas, etc., etc. But those are different. They don't get to the bloodstream. But the bloodstream ones are like the testosterone, like the estrogen, like the thyroid hormone, or the pituitary hormones. The adrenals are secreting. The kidneys and the heart, even the heart now, in the last several years, we have realized that even the heart muscle actually secretes mainly from the top chambers, the right atrium and the left atrium. And these chambers, they secrete obviously within the chambers and therefore within the blood. And so we'll just look at the benefits and the effects of it now. So having known that the endocrine system is really governing the entire body, and because it's being poured into the bloodstream, if you will, the heart is obviously involved. Why? Because the heart is actually sending blood up into the aorta, every single beat of it, day in and day out and throughout your life. So now, say for instance, epinephrines, which are being secreted by the adrenals here, which are two small little organs sitting above the kidneys, or the gonads, or the pancreas, for instance. Pancreas secretes insulin and glucagon. So it's like, how do you balance your diabetes and your sugar levels up or down? All of that is being governed by these endocrine hormones. So what happens is, when somebody gets into various positions of those multitude of scores of flora and fauna we talked about in the previous section, and stay on for those positions, the data, the clinical data and the scientific data is suggestive that it benefits the human body. Now, if we take into our hypothesis, or the long-term, time-old or age-old held opinion or theory of evolution, if you will, we all evolved from a single cell. So over a period of time, several species we passed, and then finally we are Homo sapiens, if you will, or the human beings on the planet. Now, being the supreme being, we need to take care of the rest of the beings. So that also takes into account very well that you're protecting your environment. So it further preaches within the yoga that, look, your heart, lungs, and body are being preserved, but you're also preserving the rest of your external environment as well, because you're not contributing to any waste. You're doing it in your own natural surroundings. There are no equipments necessary. So it utilizes just the fresh breath of air and sunlight, and maybe the quietness of sitting on the rocks in the woods, or sitting by the sea and listening to the rivers, the waves as they strike on the shores. Now, the soothing effect that comes into body, mind, and soul is reflected by seeing that the heart rate is restored, the blood pressure is restored or maintained, the heart muscle is well toned, and the vascular response, not only to be in positions where, like, say for instance, you could be in shoulder stand positions or head stand positions, the vascular response is amazing. Now remember, Certain positions are contraindicated or not indicated in certain settings like severe hypertension and or neck problems, etc. So please be careful when you're doing yoga. You have to be very, very gentle with your body. Having said that, it also restores good blood flow in pretty much every single organ of the body. And it cures depression, the anxiety, the arrhythmias, and therefore one sleeps better. And then, of course, you have a better day and a week ahead. So having said all of this, one can understand that the coronary flow is restored better, the heart muscle tone is improved, the chambers that secrete normal hormones, they are restored to a good balance. We have a good maintenance of pressures or within the heart. Remember, heart has 4 chambers, and with the 4 chambers, one can see on an echo that actually the pressure volumes or the chamber sizes are restored better after practicing yoga for months and years. The electrocardiogram, which reflects the electrical signals coming from the heart rate is restored to a normalcy. Arrhythmias are prevented or sometimes even cured totally. And as I said, it's like the adrenals, the pituitary and the thyroid and all these hormones that we just talked about, they're restored to a good balanced system as the scientific data so far has suggested. So it is a wonderful art of practice. It's an art of exercise that one should really transcend into and develop this as a routine during one's life. I highly recommend it. And of course, select certain positions only which are comfortable with you, and do not indulge in every single hardest of the hardest positions, because and I'm sure you will be very selective on that. Okay, well, stay tuned and for more newer fascinating subjects coming up down the line. Thank you.